Hello YouTubers, RogueMonkeyJr here. Welcome to this week's installment of Pick 1, where we critique a particular weapon and compare the weapon's 3 variants, and I give my preference. For this week we have our second medic class weapon, the M1907 SL, which comes in the flavors of Factory, Sweeper, and Trench. The M1907 SL, historically known as the Winchester Model 1907, is a blowback-operated semi-automatic rifle designed by Thomas Crossley Johnson and first produced in 1906. This rifle was perhaps the first modern assault rifle. It fired a cartridge of intermediate power which cycled through a semi-automatic operated mechanism and fed by a detachable box magazine of 5, 10, or 15 rounds. Before we get into variants, let's talk philosophy of use. For the most part, medic weapons are the most useful in medium to long range combat situations, seeing as they have a relatively slow rate of fire and for the most part have pretty limited amount of rounds that can be loaded to the gun at any given time, of course with some exceptions. However, considering that self-loading rifles or SLRs are the only class of weapon available to the medic, you must make do with what you have. Of course, some of these rifles are better than others in close range combat, and this is the case for the M1907 SL. Remember that before selecting a variant of a weapon, we must consider whether that weapon supports the playstyle we intend to execute. Since we are using the M1907 SL, I want to fight in close to medium range or all the way up to 39 meters, so on more open maps, the M1907 SL, while it isn't a bad choice in itself, it lends itself to a more aggressive playstyle on more confined maps. First off, for weapon capabilities, let's look at the damage models. The M1907 SL has a max damage of 42 and a minimum damage of 23. Damage drop-off begins at 17.5 meters and ends at 38.7 meters. This means that it can take you anywhere from 2 to 8 rounds to kill an enemy depending on where you hit them. The M1907 SL has a decent rate of fire of 299 rounds per minute, which is at par with the majority of SLRs with the exception of the Say-Rigotti, which has the fastest rate of fire of all. As for muzzle velocity, it clocks in at 570 meters per second, which is on the slower end of the spectrum and makes this weapon tend to the more aggressive playstyle. With a magazine size of 20 rounds plus 1 in the chamber, you will have plenty of lead to pump into your enemies without having to reload too often, and even kill multiple enemies at once. For reload times, the M1907 SL has a very respectable short reload of 2.3 seconds and a long reload of 3.5 seconds. Short and long refer to whether or not you have bullets left in your magazine or rifle. Generally speaking, reloads will be much faster for magazine-fed SLRs as compared to strip clip-fed ones because of the pre- and post-reload delays, which cause the latter to be excruciatingly long, or so it seems. For closer range combat, the faster the reload, the better off you are. On to accuracy. For this part, I will solely stick to dispersion, which is caused by the bullet itself, as to calculate and explain the total amount of dispersion in degrees, we would have to cover each position in which you may find yourself at any given time. An example, crouching, proning, standing, and also whether you are aiming down sight or not, which would make the video very long and painful to watch. If you want to know more on accuracy and shot dispersion, I will leave a link to Simfic down below. Bullets shot from the M1907 SL give a 0.25 degree shot dispersion each, so the longer you shoot, the more inaccurate your bullets get, and the longer you will have to wait to recover from said shot dispersion and inaccuracy. This inaccuracy or spread will slowly come back down to reset point at a rate of 3.75 degrees per second for the Sweeper and Trench variants, and double that rate for the Factory variant, which gives us 7.5 degrees per second spread decrease. The last attribute to discuss is recoil. All 3 variants of the M1907 SL have a 0.35 degree recoil left and right. The Factory and Trench have a vertical recoil of 0.8 degrees and the Sweeper has 0.56 degrees, which makes it slightly easier to control. All these degrees add up to the accuracy spoken about previously. So all this gives us our medic class equipped with all its great gadgets and self-sustainability with a weapon which is great in close quarter to medium range combat for those aggressive, get-in-your-face players who want to be there in the front lines with their team. So without further ado, we have our variants, the Factory, Sweeper, and Trench. The Factory variant will be the preferred one for players who tend to engage in medium range combat more often than not, as it offers up the substantially faster spread decrease, which means that when you cease fire, your bullets will be more accurate quicker than with the other 2 variants. So for slightly longer range combat, it will be much easier to hit multiple shots or switching targets quickly and getting that sweet spread decrease speed. Now the Sweeper doesn't have much going for it other than a slightly lower vertical recoil as previously stated, but what it does have going for it is the fully automatic mode. This means that you will always be hitting that 299 rate of fire, which is somewhat less attainable with the other variants for multiple reasons such as click delay. This variant is hands down the best one for the very aggressive medic player, as you do not have to click repeatedly in a somewhat spammy fashion to kill that dude with the M1918 Automatico. Also, seeing as repeated quick clicking can make your mouse move ever so slightly and make your bullets move off target. The trench variant will cater more to those who don't have the reflexes or feel the need to aim down sight in close range combat, as it offers the best hipfire out of all three. So equipping a gas mask and choke points, or nervously shooting to kill the enemy that just appeared in front of you, giving you no time to react, let alone aim down sight, won't leave you at as much of a disadvantage as the other two variants. However, you will need to spam fire in such situations because the trench doesn't have that fully automatic fire mode. In conclusion, what this boils down to is choosing between fast spread decrease, fully automatic fire, and better hipfire accuracy. Granted, the quicker spread decrease offered by the factory is good for the medium range situations in which you may find yourself, and the better hipfire accuracy, which the trench offers, is great for quick reaction situations in which you wouldn't have time to aim down sight, or for clustered maps where a lot of gas is thrown, but I don't feel as though these advantages outweigh the fact that the sweeper variant offers fully automatic fire. I don't think any type of stat could have as much of an effect on gameplay and performance than automatic fire. So hands down, it is my preferred variant of the three, and even quite possibly my favorite close range self-loading rifle. So that's pretty much it for this installment of Pick 1. Let me know in the comments down below which gun you would like to see featured in next week's episode. Also, while you're down there, be sure to hit the like button if you like the video, the dislike button if you dislike the video, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.